old Lowe's Hotel. Not a problem. Where I was the managing director there for 3 years prior to coming to Boston Harbor. So it's nice to be back in the Wharf District with you all. And I just wanted to kind of give you an update of what's happening at the hotel. We've got some exciting activations right now. Tonight is actually the kickoff of our Trillium Beer Garden. So we're collaborating with Trillium, who was across the street last summer. We're now on the waterfront, although it's the Boston Harbor Hotel's version of it. So there's no picnic tables, but we're on the water. Come by, have a drink at any point. I actually I talked to you all. I had an engagement over there. We're bringing some people in, and then over to the Boston Public Library where some other activations for the city in 28. So the beer garden will be open Tuesday through Friday from 4 to 10 and Saturdays from 2 to 9. As we get into summer, if there's more demand, we may open up the other days that were closed, but for now, that's our plan. We also have Summer in the City coming back with all the live music acts on the barge. And we've got some exciting new talent that's coming this year. That will be June 12th. It'll start until August 28th. And again, that's Tuesday through Friday for live music. Our patio just got a refresh and is now open. So we've started there with some new menus, and we're about to launch another exciting activation on June 1st. Our little coffee shop, Dandelion, we're doing an Activo hour, we're calling it, where people can come in and have spritzes and sangrias, some light bites, only from like 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So think of it as pre-gaming for your big dinner out on Boston. Okay. We will have some watch events at FIFA. We're working with the city to kind of figure out the permitting on that. But we're not looking to do anything crazy. There's no massive TVs. There'll be a few TVs that will keep on the waterfront and obviously be respectful of late night sound. And in addition to that, we'll obviously have a lot going on here with Mass 250 and Sail Boston. We're actually hosting 2 of the ships right at Rose Wharf. We'll have the Oyster Show, which is the Netherlands boat, and we'll have the Calamar Nickel, which is an American boat. So that one's much smaller, but the Oyster Shell is quite extravagant, quite a nice boat. And we'll be hosting some events on there, and people can come by and check out the boats. It should be a very memorable event. Now, obviously, this year's Sail Boston is going to be the biggest one yet. So we're pretty excited about that.
I have a question.
Sure.
Will you be able to go aboard the ship?
Yeah, during the day you will.
During the day,
Yeah.
so people just have to go to
That's
the
it.
ship?
Yeah, and go check it out. So it'll be pretty when the ship's not on the water. Okay. In addition to modernization of the hotel, okay, it's been a while since we've done a renovation. We're going to be completely renovating the restaurant space beginning in January outside and do an indoor-outdoor bar as well as new design. Should be quite nice. Super echo. In addition to that, we're adding a bunch of wellness programming at the hotel. And then we're slated to do a room renovation in 2028. So we'll do a complete refresh of all the rooms. So that's my full update. If anyone has any questions, let me know or stop by.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
You said a wellness program. What is that?
Yeah, so we have this amazing gym down there and fitness facility where there's wellness pods and a whole bunch of different, really hot trending kind of wellness things. And we're now doing recovery is a big focus. Things like sound bath, more inclusive yoga classes. We have private fitness pods for people that don't want to work out in front of others. So we'll be adding a lot of those
And that would
types of
be
events.
available.
Some will, some won't. Yeah. Okay.
I have a question. If you have Trillium out there through the summer,
Yeah.
some in the city Trillium interact. It used to be.
Yeah.
Went to summer in the city, you were buying drinks from the hotel on the patio area.
Yeah, so we're operating that. It's a distinction that I think is important that everyone knows. We are doing the beer garden. It's Boston Harbor Hotel. It's not Trillium's not running it. They're just a collaborative partner, so to speak, from the standpoint of we're using their products. But there is bifurcation of the space so that the Trillium Beer Garden is in one section and the Rose Wharf Sea Group, like the patio terraces, are broken out. So it'll be a tale of two cities, if you will, right? You'll be able to have a more elevated experience in the restaurant terraces versus the beer garden. We'll have some food, actually. We're going to add some hot food this year, which is something we haven't done in the past. So if you want to have a smash burger, lobster roll, truffle fries, you could have that at the beer garden.
Thanks.
You got it. And we'll add pretzels too. All right. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah. And the lotus.
Excited to be back.
Thank you so much, Bill. Great to have you here. And I wanted to just check, does you have the presentation for Luz for the aquarium? Is that in?
She's sharing.
Oh, okay, great. Hi, Luz.
Hi.
Luz is here. There she is. Now we're back on track. Great to have you. And I should mention that New England Aquarium was recognized just a couple weeks ago by the city of Boston and Mayor Wu as a climate leader in Boston, and along with the Wharf District Council was recognized that same night. Some of you might have seen that on our social media. But it was a great night at View Boston, and great to see you there, Luz, and with Vicky and everybody there. So, what do you have for us tonight?
Yeah, thank you. That was a great night, and congrats to the Wharf District Council for winning as well. So I am going to share my screen if that's all right. Let's see. Okay, everyone can see my slides okay?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So hi everyone. I know most of you, I think, but my name is Luz Regosas. I'm Director of Community Engagement at the New England Aquarium. Coming up on about 4 years working here, and I get to oversee a whole assortment of stuff, but I like to say physical resilience. So working a lot with the Wharf District Council, for example, on making sure that the downtown waterfront and Boston in general is protected from sea level rise. And then social resilience, which I like to think is making sure that the people are protected and they have the tools and resources to engage and to come down to the waterfront and enjoy it. So we're coming up on the summer season, so I thought I would share a little bit about some immediate things that are happening and coming up, but there's going to be a lot more. So hopefully you all will stay in touch with us and come visit as the summer kicks off. So hopefully, as you all know, the aquarium is located down on Central Wharf. We are a nonprofit research conservation organization that has protected and cared for the ocean and marine animals for close to 60 years. We see over 1 million visitors come through every year, and obviously the summer is our busiest season. Not everyone is aware, but so I like to mention, we also have an animal care facility down in Quincy in the shipyard. This is where if we're getting new animals, they're quarantined here before they go on exhibit. If an animal is sick or needs a vet check, they'll come down to Quincy. But then what I think is my favorite thing that happens here is our sea turtle rescue and rehabilitation program. So with the way that the ocean continues to warm every year, turtles have a migratory path, so they come up north when it's warm, and then they're supposed to go back down south when it starts to get colder. But the juvenile turtles, they don't quite understand that Cape Cod is shaped like a hook, and so when they go into Cape Cod Bay, they get stuck and they're not leaving soon enough, and they end up with hypothermia. So we have a lot of great partners throughout the area who will find stranded turtles, call us, and our team will come get them and rehab them back to health. Unfortunately, every year we're getting more and more turtles, but our team of staff and volunteers do a really great job of rehabbing them and most of the time releasing them back into the ocean down on the Cape. We have over 10,000 animals in our care. In this photo, you'll see our iconic giant ocean tank, which is the center spiral of our entire aquarium. Fun fact, that was actually the first thing that was built when the aquarium was being built, and the rest of the building was built around the tank. It holds 200,000 gallons of water, which we actually source from Boston Harbor and filter and clean and then send it back out to the harbor. And in the tank specifically, there's 700 animals across 75 different species. Our current hours, we're still on winter hours, but we'll be changing to summer hours soon. So right now, Monday through Friday, we're open 9 to 5, and on weekends we stay open until 6. And our Shark and Ray Touch tank opens 30 minutes after regular opening and closes 15 minutes before regular closing. And starting on this weekend, we are shifting to summer hours. So every day will be open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I wanted to highlight our dockside beer garden, which hopefully some of you have visited, but it's right on our front plaza, right before the ticket line and the front door. So right now we've been open Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 7 p.m., but starting also this weekend, we'll be open every day, 12 to 7. It's a really nice spot. It's open to both visitors and the public to come grab a drink, something to eat, especially on a really nice day. It's a fun place to be. We also have our Simon's Theater, which hopefully you have come to, whether for a movie or maybe a lecture or an event. Right now we have these 3 movies playing. They're, family friendly, really nice movies. You can purchase tickets to the main building, to the exhibits and the movie all in one go, so you can make a day out of it. And each movie is about 45 minutes long. And coming up this weekend, we have a movie about sea otters. Who doesn't like sea otters? So that will be this weekend. Please come check it out. And then my current major project that I'm helping lead is World Ocean Day. So on Sunday, June 7th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., we have our World Ocean Day celebration, which activates all of Central Wharf. So the building itself is still ticketed and operations are still as usual to get in the main building. But what's unique about this day is that we have activities on the front plaza, in our tent behind the building on the waterfront, along the Harborwalk. And this includes, in that beer garden I just mentioned, we'll have a DJ playing some music. We'll have along the Harborwalk face painting. Artists for Humanity will be doing an interactive mural that guests can come up and help contribute to throughout the day. Culture City is going to be bringing a sensory activation vehicle, which essentially is a dedicated space for people who might have sensory needs. They need a quiet space. They need to remove themselves from the event for whatever reason. And it's for outdoor events that might not have a dedicated space like that. And so we'll have that along our back tent. And then over 20 or so community partners who will come and table to talk about the work they're doing to protect the ocean all year round. So it's a great event. All of that outside the building is all free. So it's a really great opportunity to bring friends and family down and hopefully make a whole day out of it. And lastly, hopefully some of you have attended, but we have a monthly lecture series called our Lowell Lecture Series, which we take a break July and August. So hopefully you'll come in June. Our next speaker, her name is Ingrid Hyrosina. She's one of our Marine Conservation Action Fund Fellows, and she does research on sharks and rays in Brazil. So she'll be flying up to speak. And this series is free to the public every month, and it's a really great opportunity to learn more about ocean conservation, science, different topics that maybe you don't encounter in your normal day-to-day. So that next event's on June 25th. And lastly, if you don't already, please consider following us on social, online, reaching out to me if you have any questions, if you want to get more involved. I am happy to chat with anyone. But thank you so much. Hope to see you this summer.
Luz, the whale watch cruises start up on or about the 16th.
Yes, we're very excited. We're finally in the whale watch season. That's right.
Great. Any questions for Luz? Anybody? Well, it sounds like an exciting season. And by the way, I also want to thank Luz and the aquarium. Luz gave some really valuable input into the climate resilience kiosks that you've seen around the Wharf District, including and also arranging to have the kiosk displayed on aquarium property there. So thank you for all your help with that, Luz. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're happy to. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you so much. I believe that Boston Children's Museum is going to present. Yes, there's Lexi. And Lexi, you provided a link here. Let me just pull that up if I may.
Sorry, I'm actually with Boston 311, but I was gonna ask if I could actually hop in here and present only because I have to get to another event after this as well. I'm sorry.
Well, let's see.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Catherine, is that okay with you? I'm sorry, I got my my
No
feet mixed up.
worries.
All right,
I'll
so
hop
we're
in
gonna.
after you, Lexi.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
I appreciate everyone's flexibility. There you are. Okay, Lexi, do you have your presentation, or do I have that?
Absolutely. Can you see it right now?
Oh, sorry.
I think we just jumped ahead.
Yeah, there we go. Indeed, we see it.
Right. All right.
Lexi, are you there? I think we might have you might be temporarily frozen for a moment.
You gotta call 311.
Hello, Lexi. So let's see here.
Oh, I wonder if this device, so I do see that.
Anytime. So Boston
See,
311.
Lexi, excuse me just one second. Can you back up a little bit? We froze up, or you froze up, or something froze for a moment. If you can back up for just a minute, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry about that. So Boston 311 is a free service. So it connects you with the city of Boston for any non-emergency help and information that you're looking for within municipal government. Whether you're reporting a broken street light or looking up your trash day or trying to reach the right department within City Hall, we're here to make it easier for you. So you can contact us anytime, any day by calling 311, using our Boss 311 app to upload photos or submit requests online anytime, any day. So we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We're equipped with a 24/7 universal language line. So no matter what language you speak, we have a contract with the language line where we can get an interpreter on the phone to do live translations to help you put in a ticket. And then we also keep a pulse on resident concerns and needs by acting as a data collection center through these service requests that residents put in through 311. In addition to being able to be called using 311, it kind of works like 911 where it connects you with your nearest dispatch center. So maybe if you're near the Somerville border, you might get connected to Somerville 311. So you can also call this 617-635-4500 number. This is also available on Boston.gov /311. And I'll send out that in the chat as well. And then we also attend community meetings. So we assist residents with city services, we share important information directly with neighborhoods, and we help the city respond to emergencies. Our office sits within the Community Engagement Cabinet for Mayor Wu. So our cabinet is made up of the Office of Neighborhood Services. Those are your community neighborhood liaisons. So every neighborhood has a neighborhood liaison. And then Boston 311, we are also in the cabinet. And then there's the Office of Civic Organizing. They are the ones who do the summer block party grants, the spooky street grants, the Love Your Block cleanups, things like that. And then there's Spark Boston is the last one in our cabinet, and they're comprised of 20 to 35-year-olds who help set priorities, address city issues, and get together to plan for Boston's future. It's a youth council. So that's what makes up our community engagement cabinet that 311 falls under in City Hall. The mission of our department or of our cabinet is to lead the city of Boston's work towards eliminating silos between Boston residents and City Hall. Our goal is to better connect neighborhood services, community engagement, and policy making. We want to improve how Boston includes community voices in its work, and we plan to create a new model for prioritizing constituents and neighborhood services in government affairs. So this will give you a little bit of an idea of how many calls 311 gets a year and how many cases we put in. So on average, we get a minimum of 300,000 calls a year, which is a lot of phone calls. And we put in even more cases than that because they also come in through our app and they come in through the website as well. And so we put in, for example, last year, over 328,000 cases, and we took over 290,000 calls. And it's been even more before that. And it increases when people use the app for the number of cases. And, it varies depending on any given day. A call taker can take, about 100 phone calls a day, things like that. So what should you call 311 for? 311, you can call to place a service request within the city of Boston, within the city limits, for information regarding city programs and initiatives, and to connect to a city of Boston department. So a lot of people don't know, how to get in touch with ISD. You can call us up and say, hey, I want to speak to Inspectional Services Department. I want to get in contact with inspector that was at my property, or you can call 311 and say, hey, I'm looking for animal care and control to come out and do XYZ. We can make a ticket for you. We can also do that through our app as well, but we have real people, no automated service lines, no automated phone lines, no, press 1 for this, no phone trees, always real people whenever you call. What should you not call 311 for? So please don't call 311 for medical emergencies. That is 911. Noise complaints related to parties, that's actually also 911. And then state-related issues are not the responsibility of the city, but we are happy to pass along the message if needed. So we can send resident complaints to the MBTA, for example, which is Massachusetts Bay, on behalf of the constituent. But of course, those aren't city-owned properties, if that makes sense.
Lexi, may I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the most frequent non-emergency issue that comes through 311?
Absolutely. I think our most common call is asking when your trash day is, whether a holiday is coming. So for example, trash days may be pushed back a week or a day next week due to Memorial Day, or if someone just doesn't know if their trash was missed or things like that. I think that would be our most common. And then second most, I would say, is probably parking enforcement. And parking enforcement, this may be later in the presentation, but they use 311 data, like was mentioned in a previous slide. It's a 311 serves as a collection hub of all of this data and information that departments will use. They'll look at our call records, they'll look at our service request numbers, and they will use that information to inform their staff assignments where they're going to assign parking staff throughout the city and things like that. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what happens when you reach out to 311? You submit a case by calling 311 using the 311 app or the 311 website, and then an agent will review the information described by the constituent, you, and then a request will be submitted to the relevant department in a case. So you'll get a 311 case. And that is a case number that you get assigned so that you can follow up on that case and stay up to date with it. And then if you do it through the app, it's automatic. So you automatically have the case number there. And then the department that the case was sent to is responsible for handling the service request and closing the case once the issue is resolved or the action is taken. So 311 is kind of the in-between between the constituents and the departments. We make the case for you, send it to the correct department, and then the department will take it from there and either reach out to the constituent if you left your contact information for more information, or close the case once they've completed the assignment. Or reassign it to another department if it was reassigned wrong, which rarely happens. But that's the only time you would see a change in your case number or anything like that. And at any time, you can call 311 with your case number and ask about it, ask for updates, things like that. And what's great is that for most cases, you can report anonymously. You don't have to leave your contact information, especially if you have the 311 app. You can not leave your contact information if you don't choose. There's no data collected through the app that's personal to you, no data being sold on you, nothing like that. You can choose to leave your contact or not, and then you can see on the app whether it's open or closed, and you can also see on the app different things that have been reported in your neighborhood around you. It's really great. And then when you call, you can choose to leave your contact information. The department may need to follow up with you to ask more clarifying questions about where this issue is that you've reported. But you can also choose not to leave your contact information and just put it out there and, hope that it gets taken care of, which is also an option. A lot of people like to know that you don't have to leave your contact information for everything, unless it pertains to your exact address that you're asking them to come inspect your home or something like that. They really don't need your information.
I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
What if you have a situation where there's a problem with the sidewalk? Does it help if multiple people call 311?
Yes, absolutely. And it really does help to use the app as well because then you could submit a photo of the sidewalk. And sometimes they don't, when they're prioritizing different cases, it might be a tiny crack in the sidewalk or it might be a huge problem with the sidewalk. And being able to submit that photo really helps them prioritize responding to those specific instances as well. But yes, it does help when multiple people report on the same thing at once. Yeah. Yep. So the Boston 311 app is also able to be set up in other languages. So whatever language your phone is in, that's what language the app will be in. And it's on Android and iPhone. So how to create a case in the app, you click, the app looks like this in the top corner. You click new report. You can add a photo, add a description. You can select a category. If you type in tree, you can have dead tree removal, new tree request, tree pruning. And if you don't see the category on the app, there's an other option. And anything that you don't see as a drop down, just stick it under other, and 311, we on this side of it will categorize the report to the department that it needs to go to. And you can submit the address by typing it in, or you can drag and drop it on the map as well. And then you can add additional details if it asks for them. And then you can choose to include that contact information, like I said before. For most things, you can just choose not to include your contact if you don't wish to. Other features that the app has is that you can view the status and updates of major citywide services. It will be updated to inform you of any changes to City of Boston operations and provide critical information during emergencies. That's this little news section right here. You can check out previous reports you have submitted through the app by submitted by you, and it also comes up as soon as you open the app as well. And then you can provide feedback. How are we doing? You can schedule a mattress. There's so much you can do in the 311 app. I'll always be plugging that. I love the 311 app. So these are just, I won't go through all of these, but some common service requests under Public Works, for example, are trash and recycling inquiries. I would say that's our number one. Definitely in the top 5 are potholes, repaving roadways, roadway construction complaints, debris pickup, street light repairs, dead animal pickup, street cleaning, sidewalk repairs like you were asking about earlier. And then there's something called a special item pickup. So special items are items that cannot go out with your regular trash and must be scheduled by calling 311 or using the app. So that looks like TVs, air conditioning units, computer monitors, refrigerators and freezers with the doors removed, dehumidifiers, water coolers, and mattresses. These are all things that have special item pickups. And you can also call 311 and say, hey, are there any special item zero waste days coming up where you can just bring your things that are like batteries and these items listed, paint cans, things like that. There are zero waste days, and drop them off. You can always call us and ask when the next one is, or visit Boston.gov as well. Some examples of code enforcement violations you can call for: illegally dumped items, failure to maintain property. So whether that's trash and debris on private property and overgrown grass and bushes and weeds, those things attract rats as well. So you can call 311 for that. Parking on front and backyards and construction debris left on property. Some more examples are unshoveled sidewalks, barrels with no covers or overflowing trash containers, trash and recycling containers placed out too early or left out too late. It depends on what neighborhood you're in, of course. Some transportation examples are requests for stop sign or traffic signals to be measured. So if you think that there's definitely not enough time in a crosswalk, you can actually put in a ticket to have safety test be done, and they'll go out there and they'll measure the signal time and they can conduct changes to it. You can request for crosswalks and updates to pavements. You can request speed bumps, and you can request help if a traffic signal is flashing or out, or if you see blocked fire hydrants, crosswalks, and resident parking and things like that. But again, for resident parking, a lot of people think that if you put in the report, BTD will come out there immediately and ticket and tow them. That's unfortunately not the case. They have their routes, so it's more of an information collection to see where these reports are coming from so that they can assign their staff according to the data that's coming in. So when people, submit their own tickets, it really does inform the staff for BTD on where they should be assigned throughout the day. Because if someone is, seeing that there are a whole bunch of parking violations being reported through 311 on Commercial Street at a specific location, they might change the route that the ticketing agent is doing to include that at a specific time of day or something like that. Here are some examples of common service requests for the Parks and Recreation Department. These are how we categorize them on the back end. Not that you need to memorize that it's under which department, but here are things that we can help with, like tree maintenance, grass cutting, in city-owned properties, equipment repair, irrigation issues, park lighting, cemetery maintenance, request for park improvements. And then inspectional services, you can request help with housing issues. So whether that looks like your landlord or property manager is not making needed repairs to the unit and you've already contacted them and they're just not helping you out and you're living in, squalor conditions, 311 can help you get inspectional services out there. If you don't have any heat in the winter, if you have pest infestation, utility overcharge, you can call 311. And then if you see rodent activity, you can report that. A lot of people use the app to report the rodent activity because you could tag the location. And then you can submit work without permit, work being done after hours or on weekends, and construction complaints. We also can get you in contact with the Boston Home Center, who can help you with home repair and loan programs for homeowners who need to make repairs. And then here's some other common service requests. So needle pickup, recovery services, vandalism, housing needs, animal injuries, food pantries. As you can see, 311 knows a little bit about everything in municipal government. That's what our cultures do all day, every day, live, breathe, and die municipal government. So we get you in contact with that department. We know a little bit, so if we can answer your question right away, perfect, great. We'll give you the answer you need, and if we can't, we'll create a ticket to that department and make sure you get that answer. And we also have social media. So if you guys want to follow us on Instagram, on Blue Sky, we're also on Reddit now, and our 311 app. On social media, for example, at the end of the year, we put up our top service requests for the previous year, things like that. It's really great. And I would definitely recommend downloading the 311 app. Like I said, you can look at things that have been reported around you and kind of use it as a way to make sure the city knows what's going on in your neighborhood. Any questions?
You've covered everything. That's very thorough. I really, very, very thorough information. Just say that I have used 311 and it has worked when I've used it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And thank you so much. I mean, it really helps when people submit to 311 because otherwise, where's the data coming from to inform responses for constituents? It's really important. And I'm going to leave our website and my personal 311 email in the chat. And if anyone has any more questions or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lexi.
Thank you very much.
Yes, terrific. And Catherine, thank you for your patience and forbearance. And we'll move on to Boston Children's Museum. And Catherine York is on the call. And do you have your presentation there, Catherine, or do I need to pull it up?
No.
Yeah, I'm happy to pull it up if that's
Great.
whatever
Well,
is easiest.
Whichever's easiest.
Yeah, why don't you pull it up?
Okay. All right, I'll share my screen.
Roll the dice on it.
Let's see how this goes. All right.
Oh,
can everyone
very
see my
nice.
screen? Yay.
I think
Oh,
Matthew's fingers are getting tired.
Oh,
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine. I work at Boston Children's Museum. I'm the digital content manager, and I've worked at the museum for about 4 years now. So I'm going to be talking through a lot of our summer fun slash summer happenings this year. One big update. This is very exciting. We have a new exhibit that's opening next month. We're slated to open mid to late June. And so this new exhibit is going to invite visitors to design about their future, considering their cities, communities, thinking through creative solutions, building hands-on projects. You may remember if you are from Boston or if you have kids, we had an exhibit called Construction Zone, which was at the museum for like 20 plus years. So this exhibit will be taking the place of Construction Zone. But if you remember our bobcats, they will be coming back. So we'll have those and a lot of fun other surprises like interactive exhibits. We have a magic painter where you can take a roller tool and pretend to paint on the wall, because unfortunately we can't allow kids to actually dip into paint because they will paint everything in the museum. Now, if technology works, the next update I'm going to share is we have our 100-acre wood Winnie the Pooh experience. It's coming back to the museum starting this weekend. So I'll see if I can share this video to give you a sneak preview. So our 100-acre wood experience is especially for our littles. So we're thinking like ages like birth to 3 or like 3 to 5. And we'll be opening this weekend, May 23rd. So if you join us for the ribbon cutting ceremony, you'll get to meet Winnie the Pooh, pictured here, and a few other friends. This exhibit will be open. It's actually a special experience through the summer, just past Labor Day. And then we'll be saying goodbye to Winnie the Pooh for a bit. We have another fun update. The pedal boats are coming, / they are already here at the museum. So we have a partnership with Charles River Boat Company, and they'll be renting out some fun animal type boats, including we have some ducks, we have some dragons, we have a flamingo, and also starting this weekend, you and your family or you yourself, you can come and rent a boat and take a ride around the harbor. So one other fun thing that you can do outside, and this is a free experience, we have our Curiosity Kitchen, which you can think of as a pop-up play, kind of mud pie making / sometimes there will be paint, sometimes there will be bubbles, a lot of hands-on fun naturey activity for kids and their grown-ups to participate in. So we'll be opening for one day next month, which is International Day of Play on June 11th. And then we'll be open every day from July 1st to September 7th. And then my last update for you all is Boston Grown-Ups Museum. So if you are 21 plus, as perhaps a lot of people in this room may be, this is a really fun opportunity to come to the museum without a child and to just play in the exhibits, to have food, to have drinks. And this year's theme will be summer camp. So we're really getting excited for the start of summer. I kept the presentation short and sweet, but I do encourage you all, if you have any questions or are curious about what we're doing this summer, please check our website. Please follow us on social media. We are at Boston Children's Museum, so I can share some of those links and logins in the chat.
Catherine, that was Matthew, I'm sorry.
Question.
Suzanne, you go.
I think this is fabulous. for all these activities for children. I do have a question about the river belt. You said you
Yeah.
can you boat out to Ford Point Channel, or you said to the harbor? You don't take these boats out into the harbor, do you?
So we'll be in Fort Point Channel. I think I probably said harbor as like a,
Yeah, I just wanted to
yeah,
clarify.
I think I just used the word harbor, but it was probably confusing. No, it'll be at Fort Point Channel.
If I have boats.
Insert the whole.
I guess you could take them as far as you want. Maybe not, but
There goes my voting.
You know, I'm excited to see those boats at that particular dock because I actually remember the cultural connector and a vessel called the Huzzah that I think is still sitting over in Charlestown. It was retired for a while, but I've always wondered what would eventually go out on that dock. It's an unusually high reward there. So that's great that they found a use for it. It's something that's really fun and it looks very charming. Are they paddle or I'm trying to say cycle boats? Are you bicycling in them? How are they propelled?
yep. Yeah,
They
it's like pedals like a bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Super. Well,
Yeah, they look really fun.
First opportunity, I'm going to go out there and ride.
Yeah, come through this weekend because they'll be open then.
Fabulous.
Kevin, this is all really great, exciting stuff. So thank you for sharing all that. Yeah. Any other
Yeah,
questions for?
I'll share a few links in the chat so if people would like to get some more information.
Thanks again for your patience. Appreciate it. And my old pal, Tim Carr is here, General Manager of Old Town Trolley Tours Boston. And Tim, take it away.
Sure.
You have a lot of exciting things, I'm sure.
Good evening, everyone. It's very nice to be here. And we operate a lot of interactive tours. So this is going to be a little interactive. So if you wouldn't mind taking one and passing those down, and you taking one and passing those down, and you taking some over there and passing those down. I just wanted to kind of show you all what we do at Old Town Trolley Tours. I would like to first say that we love being a partner and a member of the council here. I'm sure that many of you know these large orange and green vehicles that go through the city. We love being a partner with all of the different neighborhoods that we try. And while you might see these vehicles as large and cumbersome through the streets, we're very conscious of sustainability and what we do in the neighborhoods that we operate in. And our parent company, Historic Tours of America and Old Town Trolley, and a number of our different cities have invested heavily in research projects to kind of help procure the next sustainably fueled tour vehicle. Much like sustainable energy vehicles here in the US, it's kind of a little bit of ways away. But we are working on it with a number of companies around the world to have something that makes sense for a touring vehicle in all the different cities that we operate in, but especially in the city of Boston. And one thing that I'm very happy to announce is that some of you may see a smaller orange and green vehicle out there around the neighborhood now. That is one of our newer vehicles that we're getting in this year, because we are taking a step towards using propane propelled vehicles now, which is significantly cleaner than the clean diesel fuel that we already use in these vehicles. So we're starting to kind of phase in some newer vehicles that are propelled by propane, which is a lot more sustainable for the environment. So I wanted to start with that, that we are very conscious of what we do in our neighborhoods, and we're really excited to kind of see the next stages of these large vehicles that can be fueled by other methods. But we're probably there. But do on these vehicles is the largest sightseeing hop on, hop off tour in the city. We have the largest route that goes around there. We've been doing it for over 40 years. The city of Boston was actually the second city that our parent company opened up. And we absolutely love doing it here. We operate a number of different things within our company as well. But we go all over the place with our hop on, hop off. And it's fully narrated the entire way around. You might ask, what are we doing special for the 250th? Nothing. About in 1768, we talk about 1630, we talk about pre-1630, all the way through Paul Revere's Midnight Ride to Evacuation Day. We have a really nice combination of, we consider Boston the revolutionary city. And when we talk about revolutionary, we're talking big R and little r. So on our tour, you will hear the revolutionary history, but you'll also hear about the revolutionary concept of the landfill project in its time that helped fill in a large portion of the Back Bay. Even this area around here with wharfing, when they started the wharfing process way back when. All the way to the medical revolutionary industry of Mass General Hospital or Harvard Medical School, things like that, down to revolutionary things that are happening in the seaport as well, with the massive buildings that they're able to build out in that area. So we really kind of encompass that through line of being a revolutionary city in the United States. So there will be certainly a number of things that each of our tour conductors will highlight, especially around July 4th, of course, or those other big marker dates throughout the history of the Revolutionary War. It's going to be kind of business as usual throughout all those times, and it's going to be a very hectic time, of course. But I did want to talk about some other things that we do here. You probably heard me talk about our nighttime tour, Ghosting Gravestones. That's how I started with the company, because I'm still on the pamphlet. So that's proof. I'm an actor by training, and this tour is the greatest performance piece I've ever been involved in my life. If you have not gotten the opportunity to take this, and haunted, scary things are not really for you, take it. It's not all that stuff. It's not like a haunted house or anything like that. It is a fully engaging, entertaining tour. It's part trolley. There is some walking through the historic burying grounds, just up the ways. But it's a fully engaging hour and a half. You'll hear some darker stories about some of the historical figures in the city that we would be talking about on the daytime tour. So I highly recommend it. It is certainly one of the things not to miss here in the city. But something relatively new is our night walk. Night walk is in that same vein, very entertaining, very engaging. It is not on a trolley because it's all in the night. We do go into the two burying grounds, two of the three burying grounds that are in and around this area. And it's a little bit of a deeper dive into the darkness of the city of Boston. So we'll talk a little bit more about spiritualism. We'll talk about the necrophone, to try to actually literally call up the dead and things like that. So it's a little bit of a twist. A little bit of a different take. If you are really into this stuff, I highly recommend both of them. They are significantly different, not just because one is walking, and because one is on a vehicle, but because the stories that are all through there. Our team has done a lot of work to cultivate this tour, and I highly recommend it. But it was over 90 degrees today, which means that summer is not far away. And one of the products that we are very, very excited about to still be doing is our Summer Nights tour. We are partnered with the aforementioned Charles Riverboat Company. And our Summer Nights tour is a 2-hour camp. It is unlike any other thing that happens in this evening, right? It's a very relaxed view of the city as we go around. You'll hear some longer form stories, other things that you wouldn't hear on our hop on, hop off tour. Our regular day sightseeing is look over there, that happened there. George Washington fell off a bench over there. That was when that was built. This is summer nights is a lot more laid back. You can just hang out. You'll hear all kinds of different stories that happen in the North End, or a few different stories that happen at the Boston Garden, things like that. You'll get beautiful views of the city as the sun goes down. It is not a sunset tour, because once we say sunset, everybody demands a sunset, and sometimes that can't. So it happens as the sun goes down. But we do have the opportunity to catch some sunsets when it's available. We take our guests over to Cambridge. We are partnered with the Charles River Boat Company, as I said, which is where they'll transfer onto one of their boats, and they get an hour's cruise on the Charles River. You get beautiful views of Boston and Cambridge. You hear a lot about some of the scenery that you'll see, the history of the river kind of in itself, some of the buildings that are around there. It is fully narrated on the trolley, fully narrated on the boat. There's a bathroom on the boat. There's snacks on the boat, and there's drinks on the boat for people of all ages. So I highly recommend it. It's 2 hours, as I said, from beginning to end. We're really excited to be partnered with the Charles River Boat Company. They did this tour to really be one that you cannot miss. And
Can I ask, which rules are the tickets be sold with the regular kiosks?
yes, and online. But yeah, right down where we normally operate from is where all the vehicle stores start from, and you can purchase tickets there as well. Did you have a short video for summer nights as well?
Oh, gracious. Hold on a second.
I think it's,
Oh, there it is. You just have to. 1 second. Yeah.
it's coming down.
Yeah, just control click and should. There we go. Great. Here comes a video.
Oh, I hope it plays.
Let me just get the.
You need to,
Yes, I think 1 second.
I think we do.
Yeah, I did. I turned down 1 second.
Right there.
Phil, this was something just last year.
The sun sets over Boston, and the city takes on a whole new feel. Aboard Old Town Trolley's summer nights. History and story come together, flashing and never believing. The ride starts in the heart of the city, winding through neighborhoods shaped by history and change. Our friendly and knowledgeable guide share local stories to bring Boston's rich history to life. Midway through the experience, guests hop on for a 1-hour boat cruise along the Charles River. From this vantage point, the skyline opens up in every direction, offering a different perspective of the city. You'll see views of the skyline that you'll never get to see. In our time together, you'll experience a new perspective on how the past and present live side by side. A Boston summer night is fleeting, beautiful. Wow, that's cool. Allowing visitors to experience the city not as a busy metropolis, but as a timeless sanctuary. It's a unique chance to take in the sights and sounds of Boston from the water, with the breeze and evening lights setting the tone. This tour is all about seeing Boston from a new angle. It's a relaxed evening of steady views, memorable moments, and stories that shape the city. But the true soul of a Boston summer is found where the land meets the water. The evening winds down, final serene loop through the heart of the city and some of Boston's most elegant corridors. Join us and discover Boston's rich charm history, showcased under the evening sky. Aboard Old Town Trolley's Summer Nights Tour. Very nice. Great.
Yeah. So I will have Matthew drop my email in the chat as well. I can also give it to anybody that's here. And please reach out. I lived in the city for a number of years before I got involved in the company, and you know, you all have been here for a number of years as well. You work, you live here. But there might be something new that you can learn from us, and I'd love to have you and a guest or something like that on any of our tours that we provide, to just be better ambassadors to you all. So
Tim, how long have you been with the company?
13 years now.
Yeah, whoever decided to hire you made a great
It was
decision.
probably one of the best hires that they ever. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you so much. A great video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Chris Cook is here, the Greenway. You've been hung in there through this whole meeting, Chris.
No, thank you, Matthew. So I have a few updates for you. The most importantly, you're gonna hear from program manager, Ruby Mott. Give a brief construction update for all of you folks. So the largest project in the Greenway's history since the Greenway was built, the Lighting and Pathways project, which is parcel 19 through 20. So the Intercontinental to Dewey Square. If folks have been through Dewey Square, it's wrapped up. We have some new tables and chairs that are just installed today, which is very exciting. Our mural is getting done. We have a nationally renowned topiary artist, Michael Gibson, who is working on Dewey Square. So Dewey Square is revealing its best self right now, which is very exciting as we approach the summer of 26. The Lighting and Pathways project was supposed to be wrapping up on May 15th. Unsurprisingly, perhaps because of the winter we had, it's actually going to wrap up the second week of June. Interestingly enough, that is also when the Boston Harbor Distillery opening is tracking. So Ruby will talk a little bit more about that. So with that, I'll pass it over to Ruby and Matthew. I'm just buying time right now because Ruby does have slides. So I was going to give another update about our mural that's going up in Dewey Square. Folks haven't seen it. It's a local artist, Rixie. It's absolutely fantastic. It's on the themes of the 250th, and it's celebratory of the midnight ride of Paul Revere. It's actually celebrating other rides that took place throughout the country. So there's this big, strong, beautiful feminine figure that's towering over Dewey Square with a beautiful horse and a lantern that's starting to reveal itself. And then what's super exciting about the Dewey Square project long term is that because of this project, the mural itself will also be visible at night for the first time. We're actually lighting. I think long term, Dewey Square will become a major tourist attraction with the mural lighting up every night, and especially with our ability to light up the projection mapping and make those murals come alive. The last thing I'll add is we wouldn't even be talking about lighting up a mural if it wasn't for extraordinary leadership very early on at the Rose Kennedy Greenway that understood that a vibrant public art program would be successful there. And Bob and Doris Gordon were a huge part of that. So Doris, thank you very much to you and Bob. Honestly, if it wasn't for the two of you, we wouldn't be lighting up anything. We wouldn't light up just a random wall that MassDOT has. But there were folks at the Greenway who really thought that this could be an outdoor museum that's accessible to all. I'm really excited about that. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ruby.
Thank you. Hello. So yeah, start well, pretty quick slideshow to present it in full screen. On the right hand side.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. You can go to the next slide. So we have 3 new works of art on the park this year. Each of the artists are Daphne Shu, Vivian Tran, and Rixie. You can go to the next slide. So these are the locations. Big Hoops to Fill is from last year, but it's still on the park. And then we have the Midnight Ride, which is the Dewey Square mural that Chris was mentioning. And then the last 2 are 2 installations in Chinatown. So this is one of the new installations in Chinatown. There's these photo stanchions, and soon they will also be moved to Dewey Square. And then this is a piece of art by Vivian Tran, and they're these bikes that are inspired by the Vietnamese street vending culture. So these are like what the vending carts look like in Vietnam. and you can like pedal the bike and it will switch through like different images in the cart.
So it's a pedal powered flip book.
It is.
Wild.
There is one that is currently being repaired right now, but there is one still on the park.
The one that was being repaired was hit by a car.
Yeah.
Would have been driving through. But that's one of the things, I think it's public art, right? So public things happen, we adjust, we're fixing it, and that's why we have insurance.
Yes. And then yes, this is the mural.
Is this up now?
It's currently being painted right now.
Oh, wow.
It should be done by the end of the month, but if you stop by Dewey Square, you'll see Rixie. She's here like every day with her team, spray painting it. And they have, yeah, I think they have most of it done by now.
Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that, is there a?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of allegories of like what stories get told, but what was very cool is that early on, she went down and met with Nina at the Paul Revere house. And really just interacted with the history of Paul Revere along with these other stories. There's an allegorical tale of a female in Connecticut who also did a midnight ride, right? And so, largely it's unvetted, through historical research, but it's amazing like what stories get told. And so like she's got a lot of different themes going on.
And it's the year of the horse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, and so that's Rixie and her team, spray painters. All right, so now I'll just go over quickly some events and programs that we have scheduled for the summer. So the carousel is operating currently on a Wednesday to Sunday schedule, 11 to 7, starting in June. It will be open daily from 11 to 8.
That's if we have a carousel left after the storm. This is like,
No.
that's Chris.
All right, and then we have welcomed 21 food trucks to the park this year. We have 7 new vendors, and then 14 returning vendors. They're at all throughout the park, Dewey Square, High Street, all throughout the Wharf District, and in the North End.
So I'm lingering over. Plan my next lunch.
Moisel's my favorite.
All right, and then our fitness started, I believe, last week. And we have 22 fitness partners this year. And again, free classes all throughout the park. I believe we have over 200 free classes scheduled on a weekly basis, including on the weekends.
Do you audition the instructors or how do you find these?
We do interview them. Yeah, we had probably had like 30 applicants this year. Last year we had about 100, and we only accepted about 22 of them. So it's very competitive.
If you go on the website, you can find out the time and the location.
Yes, they're all listed on our website calendar.
And say you just make a decision in the moment, you can just go to the calendar for that day.
You don't have to sign up or anything. You can just
show up.
see one, you can pop in. All right, and then to kick off our season, we have our annual festival scheduled for next Saturday from 11 to 5, May 30th. We'll have free fitness classes from 11 to 2, and then free trucks for the whole time. We'll have a DJ, free face painting, artisan vendors, our carousel, potentially, actually Boston Harbor Distillery will not be open, unfortunately, but we'll have a bunch of arts and crafts activities. It will just be a fun way to celebrate the start of the season. About 15 of our food trucks will be there as well. They'll be on Wharf Plaza, and then the event itself will be all throughout from Wharf Plaza to the carousel, so all 4 blocks. As Chris mentioned, we'll be welcoming Boston Harbor Distillery to Wharf Plaza or across from it soon. They're currently still working out their permits, so we're anticipating an early June start date. And then night shift as well. They've been having some hiccups with loading in and stuff, but I think we're anticipating a late May open.
And that's
Yes, that's at Dewey Square. Our artisan market began last weekend. It's currently operating Saturdays and Sundays, 11 to 5. May through September, and then in October. And then this is just like a quick rundown of some big events we have scheduled in Chinatown. So we have their farmers markets. We have our Greenway play sessions every Thursday from 4 to 6 in June to September. We also have Saturday play. And then we have some like lion dance events and some additional festivals in Chinatown. And then these are some other big events we have throughout the park. So yeah, as I mentioned, we have our Free Truck Festival, and then in June we have Boston Music Project's Block Party. We also have the North End Cornhole Classic in the North End, and then the FIFA World Cup matches will begin in early June, and then we have a new festival, an Asian food festival, on Roseworth Plaza, June 20th and 21st.
And if folks haven't experienced the North End Cornhole Classic, Ruby and I worked the entire day. It's absolutely amazing how big that event is. North End. It's absolutely great. And they raise a ton of money for NEMPAC, which is wonderful. They teach a lot of kids.
On the product.
Yeah, no. It's on parcel at the Carolyn Lynch card.
Oh, okay.
And then some other events we have the Chinatown Main Street Festival, the Parade of Sale, of course. We have our Jazz in the Park series returning in the North End. Another new event is Race Amity Day. They are like a music festival. They're normally at Faneuil Hall, but this year they'll be on the Greenway at Roseworth Plaza. We have our annual Truck and Tractor Day that our interns get a bunch of and other vehicles to the park for kids and families to explore. Kickback is also returning for their festival at Dewey Square. We have Films at the Gate in Chinatown, and then in September we have the 9/11 Service Project, Lantern Festival in Chinatown, the Boston Local Food Festival, and then a new event is Let's Dance, which will be taking place, I believe, in Dewey Square. For a few days, it would just be like a big dance party. And then in October, we'll be bringing back our fall festival and fall movement series as well. And then our volunteer program is flourishing right now. We definitely encourage you to apply to volunteer on our park and help our horticulture team with weeding, planting, all these things. And yeah, they happen every Wednesday, usually in the morning. And then, do you want to talk about these?
So just as a reminder, all the that Ruby just talked about, and that's a lot of it, right? Yeah. None of that comes from the Business Improvement District or Mass DOT or the City of Boston. All of that those are all the funds that are either earned or raised. And our primary vehicle for raising all the funds to activate the space is the gala on the Greenway and the glow in the park. So, June 4th is the gala. The night after is glow in the park. It's a more younger professional set, but everyone is welcome at either one of them. They have different price points. They're a lot of fun. And every single dollar that we get there goes to programming the park, all the things that on planning and then implementing. So we really are grateful for the support. We hope to see as many of you there as possible. Tickets are on sale right now and they're going fast. So.
And then these are just some Dewey Square improvements. If you've walked through that part of the park recently, you'll notice there are a ton of different projects going on. So we have some new tree species that have been planted. We have these new containers for our plants, some irrigation renovations, and then, yes, as Chris mentioned, we have new tables and chairs that are at Dewey. And then these are, no, it's okay. These are just the new trees that we have.
The trees are getting watered though, that's good.
Yeah. And then, yeah, these are the new topiary,
There's a stormboard too.
Yeah.
Looking here.
Is this actively happening now?
Yeah, so Michael's working there today. Obviously, he won't be out there in the storm, but it's amazing. And he's interacting with the public while he's shaping these. So as you walk by him, they're going to look like really cut. Like you're really going to see the shape that he's cut into it. As they mature over seasons, they grow in that same shape. And then, our staff will be able to tune up those designs. I think it's going to bring a lot of visual interest to Dewey Square and make it more of a destination.
Right. So that's permanent as a.
As permanent as a plant can be,
Yeah.
but yes.
I think that's it. Yes.
Yes, yeah, we're grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I don't get a chance to say this publicly. Ruby works crazy hours all summer long, and I'm just really grateful for all your work at the Green Tree. Thank you.
Chris, how can we as the Northern District Council do a better job of being good partners and stewards? Like this is some of the things that come on with the membership and the steward has provided, but some of the membership and inclusion of like the businesses and
Sure.
like to get the word out for things like this. You guys do such a good job. There's so much that you guys do. It so much depends on give the company down relay and things like that. How can we help be better partners or better?
No, thank you. That's an amazing. So first off, Wharf District Council already does a lot, right? But I also think the Greenway, we program a lot, but we collectively don't necessarily market this district as much as we should. That's why I'm excited about, Old Town Trolley's work and Arturus's work. Like this is a very special place. It's the intersection of the past and the future of Boston. So getting people connected with the Greenway is fantastic. We're going through our strategic plan right now. We're going to try to amp up our comms and our marketing and our community outreach. We really want people to talk about the Greenway as a place to visit that is inclusive of all these other things, like the Wharf, like Faneuil Hall Marketplace, like local and small businesses. And so that people understand that the Greenway is not just a part of the park that you visit for one event, my friend is participating in this event, so I'm gonna go down there one time. But they wouldn't dream of ever visiting the New England Aquarium without strolling through the Greenway all the way up to the Fenway or to Hub on Causeway. And so the more we start marketing this collectively as a great place to visit, and I think this has been a priority for the Wharf, I think we'll all, and if there are small businesses that we should move into, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 years for the right match to work out, but we've had a lot, especially our food truck program. We've had a lot of transition, which is super exciting. Folks who start out at food trucks and then move on to brick and mortar stores and then maybe come back and still activate the park. So if there's someone that you think we should talk to, just put them directly in contact with me. We'll farm it out to the appropriate staff. But between the volunteering, getting the word out about the fundraising, and then marketing as a district, I think that's the tactic. The one last thing I'll say is that we haven't been explicit about saying that all of those funds go towards that programming and that public art activation, because it can be confusing. People are like, well, is that a city park? Is it a state park? Do they even need help? Because they got the carousel, they got a Ferris wheel and stuff like that. So I think an articulation over and over again of how our budget is built and scaffolded and where the money goes, that's again something we need to do a better job of. It was a long-winded answer. Basically, send them my email, we'll connect,
Seeing come out, it's like how are we going to use exclusive and trying to help everybody.
That's right.
And bring everyone together. It just seems like geographically the Greenway is not the hub of our district per se, and it is very connected within. So I think it's, if you guys have thoughts or suggestions too, even if you guys, how can we help broadcast these things?
Yeah.
Positive events you guys are putting, with programming you guys all have. It's come up more often with businesses and restaurants.
For sure.
Kind of in categorize the totally with like tourism is, there's that difference are totally connected.
And we desperately need those connections, right? Because we also need like the workers downtown really good and connected as part of this, so they support those local businesses. That they'll come back on the weeknights and take the tours. You know, that's a big disconnect for us right now, post-COVID, and getting those folks back in the full part of the community is critical.
Yeah, exactly the overall goal that we're trying to get to. And it's it's one of the big things to get us to that point and we're like to get the landlords planning to
That's right.
tenants to the individual workers, the workers back here on the weekends, but it's getting that out. It's more of a open forum conversation. I think there's some groups that do vertical listings that has set up a phone on social media here to get word out and to find. So I'll try and work. That's our amongst some of them. So they're
There was a staggering statistic, Matthew, I know I'm supposed to stop, so I will stop, but there was a staggering statistic as part of our strategic plan process. We have over 9 million visitors to the Greenway every single year. We thought it was like 1.5, 2, and it was 9. But most people probably don't know they're on the green.
right.
You know, they're just like, oh, this is a pretty space that I'm walking through Boston. And if that's the case, they're restaurant in the Wharf. They're not going to be going down to the Freedom Trail. They're not connecting those dots. So that's branding, it's marketing. That's just
Rawson.
100%. Yep.
My friend Luz at the aquarium likes to talk about that is space. You have space where you live, where you work. Third space is where you play. So think all these activities, activations that you outlined this evening really makes the identity of the Greenway a place to play. And I think that's a wonderful way to think about it. So thank you, Luz. Plugging you.
Yeah. So
Great. We do have one more topic, and that is Joanne Hayes Ryan's on the call? I haven't seen her.
No, I'm filling in for Joey.
Oh, wonderful.
We do have a flyer somewhere.
Okay.
Joanne couldn't make it tonight, so I told her that I would try to fill in for her. And we're talking about Christopher Columbus Park. What's going on? Tomorrow evening, you found it.
Yep.
Tomorrow evening, she wrote me a little paper here. We have their social, which is getting folks to come to Tears from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It has a cash bar and complimentary hors d'oeuvres to learn more about Christopher Columbus Park and what it offers the neighborhood and how us as neighbors can help support this park. I think we're blessed here by being surrounded by such wonderful parks and greenways and attractions, and not to mention the harbor. So,
that's the home of the Rose Kennedy Rose.
who can forget that? But again, it's the membership social. You think, Matthew, do you have that up for the other folks? You get half of it.
What's that?
You get half of it.
Yeah, I've been trying to find a way to maximize it. I don't see it. So anyway,
Yes. And it's an opportunity to get to meet a lot of the volunteers at Christopher Columbus Park and meet your neighbors. I know a number of you may have attended. It's such a wonderful little gathering. It's a membership social. So I would encourage you, stop by, say hello, eat an hors d'oeuvre, have a drink or not, and get to know another gem in our neighborhood. It's also part of the North End too. So we kind of share that park together. And they're celebrating 25 years.
Right.
May the 20th, Wednesday.
That's tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. Wow.
Tomorrow. And one other thing, all of this information is available on their website, Friends of Christopher Columbus Park. They have their Independence Day event, June 27th, which is a wonderful event for children. It's during the day from noon to 3:30. It has events and crafts for children, including a magician, lawn games, giant bubbles, face painting, balloon animals, and more. And it's free. And it's made possible by our corporate members and neighborhood sponsors. So if you're in the neighborhood, walk by and see it. If you have children, I encourage you to bring them, their young ones. They just love them. You know, it's just a great opportunity to be outside and celebrate Independence Day. I know, Matthew, you're just going to talk a little bit. We do have some extra time.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of new business and a few little, just a couple brief updates
Right.
Of different things that are going on. So
I wanted to thank all of the presenters tonight. We took this meeting, our May meeting, and gave different small businesses and things that you can do here in the Wharf District, which we kind of, or I do anyway, take for granted, but make people aware of all the wonderful things that they can have an opportunity to take advantage of throughout the summer. And I hope this particular meeting was kind of special for me anyway. And we'll do it again in terms of focusing on a specific type of topic. And
sort of a springboard to the summer.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for funneling it that way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I thought bringing it all together
Yeah.
made a little more sense.
And will this, a lot of this will be on our website as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and Karen is putting together the meeting notes, so it'll be on the website. And we also have our newsletter coming out it's sometime in June, so some of this information will also be in there. But I just have one other thing,
Go ahead.
if you wanna.
No, please.
Also, I want to just mention our next meeting, which is June 16th. We're having our Congressman, Stephen Lynch. This is not a political event. This is our Congressman talking to us about what's going on with respect to our area and getting our feedback and information. It's a great opportunity. We've had him here before. It's going to be at the aquarium in the cafe.
Great.
So I would encourage everyone there will be no Zoom with this one, to try and stop by and meet the congressman. We'll also have other elected officials. I know Aaron Meklowitz will also be there. We'll have a few others. So I do encourage you to try to come and learn about what's going on in government.
It's the normal time.
It's a normal time, 5 to 7.
Yeah.
So
What else? Anything else?
I have nothing else.
Great. I was just going to mention just a couple quick things before we close. Is that I think I mentioned this earlier, is that the Wharf District Council was recognized by the city of Boston and by Mayor Wu as a climate leader, city of Boston. Hey guys, if you want to have a conversation, maybe go outside. We're still in the beginning of the meeting, okay?
Talking about his program.
Oh, wonderful. The meeting is still going on, just to let you know. And so, yes, it was a wonderful evening and we were very proud to be there. Mark and Stan and I were all there. It was great to be recognized. And Mayor Wu, one of the things that she talked about that became a city councilor for the first time, she was invited to go on a trip to the Netherlands. And ever since then, she has really taken climate resilience she's very well informed about the issue, and clearly from the conversation that evening, she's very aware of everything that we're doing at the Wharf District Council. Of course, everything the planning department is doing with their interactions with the Army Corps of Engineers and the plans for longboard and so forth. So that was a great evening. And I think I mentioned this, but I'll just reiterate it. The kiosks have turned out beautifully and are being looked at and read and scanned. They're very interactive, and there's four of the four locations throughout the district, and Christopher Columbus Park, the aquarium, right out here at the corner of the parking garage, and also on the Greenway.
On the Greenway.
So, and you know the Greenway.
That's fine. Don't move it too
But
far.
that's been quite a project and has been such a great collaboration between a number of the partners with Wharf District Council. So much appreciation to everyone who gave input on that, and it turned out great. And then finally, a discussion with the mayor and with the Department of Streets regarding State Street. And this was a meeting that was called just about a week ago, and sort of out of the blue. But it was a really, it was a good discussion, I would say. And Susanne, you may have more to say about it, but I was struck by the fact that Mayor Wu was there for the entire discussion. She was very involved, very engaged in the discussion, and there were different. Obviously, they're trying to beautify and improve the street in time for all these summer events that are going on. And there's still some out the fate of the bike lane. And one of the options that they presented, and my sense was the consensus seemed to be that moving the bike lane to the left side of the street rather than the right side seems to be the direction they're going in. Now, there's some complications with that option, but generally speaking, I will say that the meeting was positive and productive. And can you add to?
No, other than to just say that they are fixing the street up, obviously, for FIFA and the tall ships and 250. But they have the considerations that the Wharf District Council and the community posed 6 years ago. Once this is all over, we are going to go back into discussions regarding what we view as State Street and how it should be, what it should look like when it's final, which we would prefer to have the bike lane over on, I want to say, what? No.
And they did say that they are keeping that option open, a bi-directional bike lane on Milk Street. They have not taken that off the table. So yeah.
Right. So we look forward to discussing this further. I know you're laughing.
Do you look forward to it?
I've waited 6 years. I can wait a few more. Yes.
Think about the sidewalks.
They're going to be,
In time for people and stuff.
yes, they're kind of doctoring them up, yes.
I see.
Well, they have to. I mean, they're in worse shape than the street.
Yeah. Are there any other business?
Anything you
brought
That is open forum with the guy living on State Street. We had personal interest in that. I know going then I know you this well, and all along this. What your episodes involved with those discussions
what they're doing for these two events, yes, there will be.
I would be counting volunteers to ready fast.
It's a difficult situation.
Well, I know it's.
You're right.
There,
And I think there's been somewhat of a change in the leadership that is involved in the project.
yeah,
And that change may have brought about better listening and communication.
I,
You look forward.
Forward.
Anything else? Anybody? Thank you so much, everybody. Wonderful presentations. Thanks, everybody, for a great meeting. Despite the ineptitude of my